Okay, OTF on the fly. No need for slides on this one. Afrika Bambaataa, hip hop pioneer, dies at age 68. Now this goes along with this kind of pattern of maybe like black icons on the world stage, or black characters, whatever you want to call characters on the world stage, right? But I see like Africa there. Remember, we had the death of Jesse Jackson not long ago, civil rights activist. Okay, think about all of the like divide that they give us with a lot of the scripted stories, black and white, racism, all of that. You got civil rights right there. They they'll call they'll call you African American in this country if you're black, right? So you got Afrika Bambaataa now dying. Jesse Jackson died a few months back. Remember Martin Luther King Jr., his death date anniversary was a few days ago. Notice how he was born in 1968. Afrika Bambaataa dies in 68. See that right there? 68's been landing, hasn't it? Kanye West, he's trending. Look at his birthday, 6/8. Okay? And I'm talking about like trending. He was at the top of the trending news on the Associated Press for like a comeback show that he did in LA. Look at his birthday, 6/8. Been seeing 68 as well. If you just, you watch my decodes, right? So a lot of this, remember Martin Lawrence, his birthday is in a few days as well. Uh, like Martin Luther King Jr., right? Martin, okay, with that connection, right? So all of that's stuff that I just kind of see. That's stuff that I just kind of see just without even trying right there. Now we'll see if we can get some other connections here. Disc jockey and rapper. He dies 8 days before his birthday. Look at this. He dies April 9th. Oh, remember, Colin Kaepernick is also trending with a new memoir. I dropped the decode. Remember, he took a knee. Look, civil rights activist. Notice how he was on the 49ers. Took the knee for like equality for blacks or whatever. He was on the 49ers. And look, Afrika Bambaataa dies on 4/9. This is how they balance everything in the world, and it stays the same with the same type of energy. He died in Pennsylvania. Even Joel Embiid. Look at, I already have the story up. Joel Embiid is trending. He plays for the 76ers, Pennsylvania. Appendectomy, leaving former MVP's status for postseason in doubt. You see that? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Isn't he African? Isn't he African? Or Cameroon? I don't know. Cameroon, I don't know the affiliation, but we can just go with the Pennsylvania connection. Afrika Bambaataa dies in Pennsylvania. And again, you see Joel Embiid right there trending. Okay, so he dies freaking 8 days before his birthday. How did he die? And you know what? Didn't he have uh some illegal encounters with young ones? Or was it allegations? So that's going to connect right now with the energy out there in the world as well. Faced multiple accusations of SA and moving young ones with allegations dating back to the 70s and surfacing publicly in 2016. There's that 16 again that's been popping up. He denied the accusations, labeling them baseless, but look at the energy, right? We don't know if it's just a part of his script or if they're just throwing people under the bus and they're covering up for people really doing it because somebody's got to take the fall. Remember, J. Cole had the Fall Off album. Okay? So you can see how I've already kind of proven this script to be a script, right? And you see, I just put Afrika Bambaataa in there. I'll enter a few things here also. Maybe some of the date numerology. What's his full name? His name is Lance Taylor. That makes me, God, why does that sound like Lawrence Taylor? That's interesting too, because we've had, Martin Lawrence's birthday is in a few days. Look, Lance Taylor. It makes you think of Lawrence Taylor. And Dexter Lawrence is also trending. Let me pull that story up. Football player. And, even Trayvon Walker, football players trending. That makes you think of Trayvon Martin. So you get that Martin Lawrence energy, man. And again, like Martin Luther King. Right? Oh, I think that other video was on the fly. I can... Look, right here. Dexter Lawrence trending. Ask Giants for a trade. And that's amazing because Lawrence Taylor played for the Giants. Look. Oh, look. Does he got the same birthday as Trayvon Martin? Look at this script. LT, linebacker, great linebacker for the Giants. Look at his birthday. Is that Trayvon Martin's birthday? Look, Trayvon Martin's birthday is one day after Lawrence Taylor. Look, he's got like the Giants colors on, blue and red there too. So this is all like race stuff. African American. There's the African, fatally shot. You see that? Now, again, this cycles back around to Afrika Bambaataa. And his name is Lance Taylor, like Lawrence Taylor. And you can see Dexter Lawrence trending. Look, Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker is teammates with Trevor Lawrence. So you get the two Lawrences. Again, Martin Lawrence, his birthday's in a few days. You see that? Martin Lawrence, again, like Martin Luther King Jr. Isn't that amazing? So Afrika Bambaataa, his name is Lance Taylor. Don't forget Martin Luther King Jr., I Have a Dream. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. They have the WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream. Angel Reese just got traded there. Look, Lance Taylor has 126 right there. That syncs up with Joel Embiid. Look, let me get rid of this other stuff here. Look at this. Joel Hans Embiid, his full name, 126 and 63 in the language, like Lance Taylor, who's Afrika Bambaataa. Look at that. And again, that's the Kobe Bryant death date as well. So, you got that Kobe LA energy. I mentioned LA earlier with Kanye West. You see that right there? Okay. I mean, so it's almost, it's like a script. It's like I already dominated this. Now let's see. Let me pull up another date calculator. Let's just look at some of the date numerology. Again, Afrika Bambaataa dies. Did I tell you how he died yet? Prostate cancer. My bad. They say prostate cancer. My bad for not saying that earlier. It's the thing with these. I'm not saying he didn't die, but these stories are scripted. Look at prostate cancer right here. We could just put like cancer right there. 44 has been popping up as well. So he dies of prostate cancer. Okay, so let's open up a date calculator here. He dies on 4/9. And again, he dies 8 days before his birthday. That 8 connects to Kobe Bryant as well. Bryant equals 26 in the language, so you're getting a lot of Kobe connections this year. And he died on the 26th, right? So 4/17. Afrika Bambaataa, 8 days before his birthday. Notice how he dies on the day leaving 266 days in the year. 266 is like 26. Okay? In the year 26. Cancer equals 26 as well. Let me put Afrika Bambaataa back in here. He's a American disc jockey, rapper, record producer, most notable for releasing a series of genre-defining electro tracks in the 1980s that influenced the development of hip-hop culture. Bambaataa was one of the originators of breakbeat DJing, is what they call it. Let's enter this again. Right here. Maybe we'll get some visuals as well. So that's just some of the stuff right there. I don't see anything. I'm sure there might be some stuff in there, but I'm not trying to like search and find matches because I already proved this. I believe I already proved that this is scripted. Afrika Bambaataa. There's probably something with his name as well that I'm missing besides the Africa thing. Here we go right here. I don't know if I can play any of this, but we need to, we can get an idea of this guy. Maybe I'll find a video we can watch about the news of this death right there. Yeah. Sounds pretty good, huh? If I don't have to edit this out. Afrika Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock. So there might, remember we had Kid Rock trending recently as well because he had some helicopters outside of his house. Kid Rock was trending. So now, we got Planet Rock. And that's probably like the number one thing that you link to him, Afrika Bambaataa. Does sound pretty good, that beat. That beat does sound really good. Probably influenced a lot of other rappers, I'm sure. I think Dr. Dre was one of them. Can't remember if it was Dr. Dre that sampled it. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Make your body sway, so should I.
so let me see if I can find a news story on this death, and hopefully it plays.
I asked her, what do you call this? And taken from the corners and turns that my brother Love Bus Starsky said, we call this hip hop culture, meaning the B-boys, the B-girls.
Take the time out to say, rest in peace to the greatest child who ever walked this earth, Afrika Bambaataa.
So Afrika Bambaataa has passed away, and though I don't wish death on anyone, my sympathies are more for the hundreds of victims that he sexually assaulted and the people that stuck up for him. You want to know how people don't care about the Epstein file?
Breaking news. Hip-hop legend Afrika Bambaataa has died.
Yeah, people don't care about the Epstein stuff, but you'll see the black characters get destroyed in the media. You know, you see pictures of Trump hanging out with them. Nobody cares, right? They care about Diddy, though. They care about Afrika Bambaataa. So, you know. Okay, so that's a quick OTF on the fly. They said prostate cancer. I'm sure there's going to be more in here. Let me put Planet Rock in the calculator. There's definitely a rock connection. You could probably go over all things rock, and it's probably all going to connect. I'm not really noticing anything off top with just the few things that I entered there. That Lance Taylor, Lawrence Taylor connection is awesome. But hip-hop pioneer Afrika Bambaataa dies at age 68. And that is 86th reverse. Look at the 43 there. Planet Rock 43, Afrika Bambaataa 43. Right? But 68 is 86th reverse, 86 to get rid of. Remember Martin Luther King Jr. dying in 68 with his death date anniversary, 5 days before the passing of Afrika Bambaataa? Afrika Bambaataa dead April 9th, 2026. I'll see ya next time. This is OTF on the fly. Hit record and decode.